Welcome back to the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, episode number 33. As always, I'm here with my brothers, Bruce.
What up?
Mike.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we're here for another good time, man. Before we get there, let's go ahead and get right real quick. All right. Everybody pour it up. We ready to go. How we doing, brothers? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody week? Everybody still positive vibes? How we doing out there? How we doing?
Always bring that positive vibration in the building, man. Positivity over everything because everybody else want to be negative. So somebody got to give you that good hope.
Oh, we need that. We need that, especially right now.
Amen. Amen, man. I'm just being blessed, man. A lot of people just going through it. Even the strong are going through it. So just trying to be blessed, trying to like Bruce was saying, look at the positive side of things and trying to shed positive light. Everybody needs it right about now.
Amen. Amen to that. Amen to that.
What about you, bro?
I'm just blessed, man. I'm just blessed, bro. I'm a start like I started last week. I'm blessed.
I'm not supposed to laugh at that. I'm not laughing at that, man. But yeah, you're right.
We blessed. We blessed.
You about to make that song. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Oh man. Hey, for those that are checking in for the first time, man, we do a question of the week on Instagram. So if you're not following us on Instagram, please go ahead and hit that follow button. We're at Whiskey and Wisdom Pod. So last week's question was if you had any issues with any delivery service while you're in quarantine, i.e. Instacart, Uber Eats, DoorDash, however you flow. 77% of the Whiskey and Wisdom podcast listenership had issues. 77%. 23 said it's smooth sailing. Well, I obviously fall on the 77% side, and I think all of us do. But yeah, good luck to the 23%ers. I hope it continues to go well for you.
Yeah, I don't know what service they're using.
I'm
I don't
trying
think
to
they
tell
read
you.
the question all the way because
Yes,
Instacart, Instacart out here wilding out, boy.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I did another one this week. They got it together, but hey, I ain't gonna give them too much shine too early.
They still got a lot to prove, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they got to come back from that one. That was yeah. I don't get how that happened, but okay.
Yeah, they had to make sure they had a 100% rating on this one for Utah because I know they would have screwed it up, boy. That would have been over.
Yeah, man. It's at a point now I got to contemplate like, all right, am I gonna order this or am I gonna do a quick run? You know what I'm saying? Like, or am I gonna leave a couple things off the list and go get those couple things so I'm in and out? Or do I let them do half of the order? Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta really contemplate because half of the stuff a lot of times don't come back. And I'd be like, God. And it don't matter what time. People say, do it early in the morning. That don't matter. Some of that stuff still don't come. So I'm like, I kind of know now like what to put on there if I really need it and what not to put on there because you come up short.
Yeah, well, because if you do it early in the morning, you just got the person who's getting from the quarantine kickback going to pick up your groceries on their way home. So, I mean.
Oh, I'm about to take that option off now.
Breath smell like COVID-19 first thing in the morning.
Oh,
God. Yeah, I still got to get that table though. And we talked about putting that table out there. I got to get that.
That table will save your life.
Yes, sir.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes, sir. So we had some entertainment over the weekend, man. I don't know. Well, not over the weekend. Over the week, we had another Verzuz that was presented to us. Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. What'd y'all think? Did y'all get to see it?
High roller edition, boy. High roller.
High rollers.
I don't know how they meant that. Like, I guess from all the smoke I saw on the video, I guess they was meaning it that way. The high roller.
Had to be. Had to be. Yeah, it was a decent versus, man. I felt like there was a few theatrics that probably could have been calmed down a little bit, but you know, the music was the best part of it. So
I mean, it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty cool. Fat Boy definitely came out with the Bel Air on deck. He had the bottles to rival Tyrone, boy. His bottle set was crazy.
that's a fact.
I ain't gonna lie. I was like, "Oh, I gotta have that set up." That's the first thing I locked eyes on.
Did you notice he had all the different little variations of the Bel Air? He had the
Yep,
Lux out there, he had the Rose out there, he had the regular.
yep.
My man was going crazy.
Yeah, the champagne. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry.
It must have been sponsored by Rose, because you know how when Diddy do the sponsoring, they be having all the different flavors of Ciroc.
Right.
That's what I felt like.
Hey, when you got something like that, or a product like that, I'm trying to show the world every time I get a chance. So it was smart. So smart of him.
But my bad, I ain't mean to step on what you was about to say. What you about to go with?
I I don't know, man. I wasn't really too keen on the energy in the room. Know what I'm saying? It didn't really the last couple from what, let's see. When did we start? I think Jadakiss and Fabulous, and then also Snoop Dogg and DMX. Like the energy was crazy. Like they were singing each other's songs. They was, dancing each other's songs like the entire time. And I don't know, the energy in the room felt a little weird to me, and I wasn't even in the room. It just seemed like it wasn't all positivity there.
They did a good job of masking it though. If I can say so. Like there were times where they tried to embrace, but you would feel like one person didn't really truly want to, and the other person did. You know what I mean? And truth be told, we might have gotten spoiled by the DMX and Snoop versus just because of the energy, the camaraderie, the love that those two had, and the amount of respect that they had for one another. And I think that's really where it boils down to. Um, if I can echo what Ty was saying, like the energy just kind of seemed off, but I feel like those guys might like each other, but I don't know if the respect level is as there, not only just as black men, but just as you know counterparts in a particular versus setting. It kind of seemed a little, seemed a little off, and I don't know. It seemed like Ross might have been thrown off by those strippers, man. I don't know.
You think that was that a stunt Ross had on hand in case something happened, or you think he was just gonna do that anyway?
I feel like he might have did it towards the end, but I feel like when Chainz brought them strippers out and they had the mask on, they were socially distancing and whatnot. Uh, I feel like Ross is like, oh, he trying to show me up. So that's when Ross brought the masseuse out, showed his titties and whatnot, and then changed shirts.
Oh my god.
That's the first. I don't think we've seen a wardrobe change.
No, I don't think so.
Only Rick Ross would provide that kind of entertainment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, I love them strippers. I mean, it was perfect. Perfect for 2 Chainz to be the one to pull them strippers out.
True. True.
I mean, for a quick glance of what I think, man, like it's one of those situations that, and I don't want to put any ill will or anything onto somebody, but I think a lot of what we seen after the fact, a lot of what we seen during the fact is I'm trying to figure out the best way of saying this, but I guess I'm just gonna flat out have to say it. So I think 2 Chainz looked at Rick Ross as that's the person I want to, like, that's the career that I should be having. But because I don't have all the relationships, I can't go out here and have that. Like, I can't have that career because Ross was able to play them Jay-Z joints. He got a different echelon of Drake joints to play. Whereas a lot of 2 Chainz records, if it ain't just him and it's like the posse cuts and stuff like that, a lot of that stuff aged differently compared to Rick Ross. Like Rick Ross stuff seems to be ageless almost in a sense. You can play all them records at any given time and they just age they age well.
Yeah.
But with Chainz, a lot of that stuff, like he be on some of them records, and it's like, yo, we don't even rock with that kind of music like that no more.
Yeah. Yeah. He did shout out Jay. You know, he been trying to get a Jay feature for a long time.
I
So
know
he has remained
that's I
consistent with
mean,
that.
knowing Chainz and how like seeing how he maneuvers and how he talks about his career, he's somebody who
Yeah.
really is adamant on saying like, yo, I can do it all. And Rick Ross is that person who's doing it all effortlessly. He's not having
Mhm.
to, you know what I mean? He's got those relationships and those people kind of reach out and, he's got the catalog like Chainz was saying, but don't mean that Chainz ain't got them hits. Them hits is undeniable. I'm not saying that Chainz ain't got no hits.
Right.
He definitely showed that off, but as far as how people revere Rick Ross compared to how they like talk about Two Chains, like I could definitely see him saying like, "Yo, I can do exactly what this man do."
I can definitely see that. I guess
Mm.
I'll ask you guys this question both: whose career grind would you rather have? Because you know, to me, it seemed like Ross. And this ain't me taking shots at Rick Ross and nothing like that, but um, it seemed like a lot of the things he was afforded in his career was by good fortune. Like you Hove kind of found you because he was looking for a specific sound. He found it, he got it, he cultivated it, and him taking you under his wing kind of afforded you a luxury of hardships that you can actually avoid in your career. Whereas Chains was kind of got it from the mud. He kind of started out with one click, went to another click, kind of end up, fostering, harboring his own sound after reinventing himself. And then all of a sudden kind of just flourishing and now having his own thing. So it's just, which career path would you guys rather take? Because I do agree in some sense. I do think, Bruce was saying, I do think Chains kind of looks at Ross like, I wish I had that career, but a lot of people probably say I'd rather have Chain's career because it seemed like he kind of got out the mud and his hard work actually paid off.
I don't know. I I think it depends more on the person because, for example, if you were in Rick Ross's shoes and you had some things that were given to you, everything that's given to you doesn't last forever. So you got to put in some type of effort and some type of work to keep it consistent and keep it moving. Even though you got jump started, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it still takes work to keep that going because obviously we know Jay Z isn't involved in all of his business ventures. However, he was his intro into his career. And then you got Chains where you know he didn't have backing. Like Rick Ross did. He had to grind to get to where he was. So I don't. It takes a different. Well, I mean, you kind of have to have the work ethic either way, but it's a little different when you have to start from nothing, and that takes a different type of person. I mean, it depends on who the person is.
I'll answer your question because Tyrus is he gonna play sides. He want to play both sides. If I had to decide on the two, I think with the perception because this is with me not knowing any contract obligations, any of that stuff. I would say Rick Ross because it seems as if he has a better grasp over the movement of his career. He's not as label dependent as what Two Chains appears to be. I mean, he's been in Def Jam his whole career. Like whether it been through distributing through DTP or like directly through Def Jam, he's been in Def Jam. So as Def Jam has declined, Two Chains isn't able to maneuver the way we feel that Two Chains should be able to maneuver. Whereas Rick Ross, he did his thing with Def Jam, got out of there, got a bad contract. It felt like, or a label deal, I would say. It felt like so he kind of did some things on the side that got himself out of that. And now he seems to have more control over what he does with his label. So I would say I would say Ross because Ross has also put on so many other artists, whether it's been with him or like not with him. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
always been one of those guys who's told people like, "Yo, make your decisions, but this is what I want to show you. This is how you can do it. This is how you can maneuver." Wale was able to get into a different atmosphere working with Ross. Meek Mill got into a different atmosphere working with Ross. Gunplay is a name that we all could go to and say like, yo, he still got some joints he's been able to release. And we can't forget what Ross did with the Maybach Music self-made joints. Like them Styley, all them boys was going crazy right then. So I just think for the sound, the ear that Ross has and the work that he's like, like you said, he did get some insight from Jay-Z being cultivated that way. But still, like Ty said, you still got to put in that work. So I'm gonna say Ross because of what he's provided in the industry.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
What about you? What would you say?
It's kind of hard because I can kind of side with Ty. Like it kind of really depends. But I guess too, I'm always kind of one of the persons that I like the underdog. I kind of like taking the underdog approach. And everything that you said was correct, Bruce. 100% agree with you, bro. I guess too. I guess my thing is Chainz. Chainz doesn't need the label, but I do think there is something that he says of people that wants the label support, and we yet to see Chainz put anybody else on, which I'm hoping that he is starting to do that now. I know he's got his own little crew of different artists that he's with that's got him, but um, whether a talent is there, that's yet remain to be seen. So hopefully we can see some more glimpses and flashes of their talent, and him kind of being behind them, being that engine, that big machine behind those guys to kind of get them in the limelight more. Um, Ross is definitely Ross's ear for music and production selection is it might be one of the best that we've ever heard. Um, and I think that separates those two. But I think as far as the work ethic, I would take Chainz work ethic all day long, just because I feel like his work ethic is kind of infectious. It gets other people involved in the fact that he was able to do as much as he's done in a short amount of time from him revitalizing his career. I think that's something that we really need to kind of to champion and herald a little bit more.
Oh no, it's definitely no wrong choice in the matter.
Yeah,
It's,
for
it's
sure.
definitely
For sure.
preference. It's definitely preference. And I don't want to pit these
Yeah.
two against each other because there's enough of that going on with after this versus and the reactions these two brothers have had with each other. So I mean, I don't want to contribute to that. It's just for personal preference and what I see of the two and how they move, how they maneuver. I just at this point, I think Rick Ross is just more advanced, and it could just be because he was cultivated with Jay-Z and all that stuff. So, but for all y'all clickbait motherfuckers and people out here who want to just take something and try to pin it to make an argument, you can't choose wrong with either of these two. So I'm an avid fan for both. I rock with both music. So like it ain't nothing there to that degree. Even if it doesn't matter, it does matter, whatever. Ty, you want to chop in real quick, or should we go into the drop?
Nah, let's just drop it.
All right.
Y'all fucking with the right one when you come to this. I will listen. He had more pressure than me because he had more material.
Yeah.
I knew I had y'all talking about 20 hits, right? That what y'all talking about? 20 hits.
Yep.
Y'all said 20.
Yep.
I played 23 hits. I'm not going back and forth with catalogs and all that. You say you want to hear some hits. I played plaque after plaque after plaque after plaque. Yeah, and so another thing that I was doing was I wasn't doing no rounds. I was just playing hit for hit for hit for hit. I wasn't going back and forth with no catalog, no who did this, no big homie, little homie, all of us, just me. It wasn't about none of that shit. This shit was about, this is another plaque, this is another hit. I did the hook. I motherfucking did a 16. I was the hardest nigga on this whole song. That's what that was about. You know what I mean?
And talk like this, man.
Were there some songs afterward that you were like, damn, I should have played that? Because, people always respond on social media and they're like, you missed this song, you missed this song. Are there some songs you feel like you missed?
Angela, I was 1,000% focused on this shit. I don't know what niggas was doing the night before. I was rehearsing for a couple of hours. I was getting my shit together. I knew I was going to spit over TV tracks. That's what I do at shows. I knew I was going to have narrative behind it. I knew that I was going to have content with dancers. Y'all got to know that I'm one of the best minds in this shit, marketing minds. Y'all know me and Tech been doing this shit for the longest. You know, ain't no big this behind me, no big this. Y'all know this shit coming straight from me. The idea coming straight from me. Y'all gonna give me my roses where I can smell them. All that other shit.
That right there is the key that I wanted to bring up. We definitely got to get that man his roses while he here, while he can smell them. So shout out to Chainz, shout out everything he does, the work, the mind that he is, and shout out to him standing tall. You know what I mean? He said he ain't got ain't nobody there pushing buttons for him. He ain't got no marketing team. He is the marketing team.
Mhm.
But my man was look.
He was upset.
Yeah, he wasn't there for no BS, bro.
Hell no.
He was there to tell you what, like he, you know, and like he said, man. I mean, because everybody was throwing the catalog at 2 Chainz, and I say this because I, you know, dibble and dabble in social media during the week, but I'm sure he heard it a million times more than I did, and it's about him. So he was already preparing to go up against the catalog. I mean, he knew about the catalog, so I think that question kind of fired him off because he's been hearing that all week.
Yeah. All right. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off because
I'll say it. Go ahead. Go into it.
I just don't like when people. Why is Angela Yee still in the Breakfast Club?
Oh damn! I didn't
Oh.
know it was there. My bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's why I didn't really want to say what I was
My
gonna say,
bad.
but because she does that a lot, and I want to say she. I take that back. Her commentaries is kind of like one of those like, all right, like we get it, but it's just like one of those things where it's like it wasn't about catalog, and then I think sometimes I feel like her and Charlamagne sometimes antagonize the guest or get them to a place to where they have to have that kind of response. And that's almost Charlamagne's role. It's been like that for years. But he's also kind of been the so-called quote unquote conscious of the actual Breakfast Club a little bit. So him trying to play both sides, I get it. Because you kind of love both. I love both. But if I had to choose, I'm choosing one or the other. But it just kind of seemed like he was just playing sides. And it's like, look, man, it won't about that. We playing hits. That's what we playing hits for. And James is right. He played hits. I don't, you know what I mean? And like Bruce was saying, like we got to get this man his flowers. And I think that's the main moral of everything that we should be doing with these versus battles. It should never. We can keep score if we want to, cool. But at the end of the day, it really should be a celebration because those guys, those women, those artists, when they go home after that versus battle, their livelihoods kind of get a little bit of a jolt. What they decide to do with that in their musical careers is up to them. People can kind of go back and have just a bunch of fun with their catalogs. Like everybody went back and listened to Chainz. Like there were some records I forgot Chainz did that I was like, well, wait a minute, I gotta go back and listen to this. Of course, the Ross records, like, man, he didn't play Lord Knows. Let me go pop that on real quick. So we definitely got to start celebrating these artists, man, when they're on these verses instead of trying to pinpoint it and kind of put them against each other because we can tell the artists that really rock with each other and the ones that don't. And all the verses does is just create either more love or more animosity.
Well, do you think that's the artist's fault? Because this is supposed to be about giving roses to both of them, but from the commentary after the fact, it seemed like both of them got kind of bad blood going down in a way, or like something that need to be discussed or have a conversation between them two. Because I mean, 2 Chainz was up there trying to talk and give context, and Rick Ross just stole the whole show. Had a masseuse come over there, get him a massage, and like
Yeah.
it didn't seem like it was this respect amongst the two, and it definitely don't seem like it's about roses no more because they both taking offense in a way.
Fact.
Yeah, yeah. I do think a part of it is definitely on the artist. I do think part of it, and it's all about gamesmanship. It's all about sportsmanship. Like you got to have a level of respect to be there. Like you know, I look at Boy Wonder and and Hit Boys Battle. Like both of those guys, yeah, they were jostling back and forth with one another, but like the love is there. Like you can still kind of see it. You know what I mean? Babyface and Teddy Riley, I, we don't know.
There was sunning. There was
That
sun
was,
in there.
yeah,
There was some sunning going on
yeah,
there.
Yeah.
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 So it's just I don't know, it's just that, like the whole Manny and Scott Storch beef. Like Manny kind of went a little low a few times, but he also went into it with a different mindset. And it's all about how these artists go into it with these mindsets of these versus battles. Are you going to it with the mindset of a battle that you want to win, or are you going to it with the mindset of I'm here to celebrate, I'm playing my best 20 records, and I'm gonna let the chips fall where they may? And that's a question for them, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm with Bruce on this one. It kind of felt like it was real I think the utmost respect is when you're in front of millions of people and you dismiss that somebody's on the other side of the room and you guys are supposed to be doing this together. There was nothing was in sync.
Because at one point Ross definitely hit him with, man, fuck what he talking about, and started dropping record.
Yeah, like he didn't, 2
He
Chainz
didn't
got
say
to
it like that, but he definitely was
nah.
in a mode like,
But that's the thing, bro. The actions speak way louder than the words. I mean, so yeah, I don't know. I saw 2 Chainz trying to give a little bit of content, and then I saw Ross, just like my brother says, drop the next one. so, so I don't know. That it really didn't seem like it was that much love in the room. But hey, I do think that's a responsibility of those two guys. Kind of either either get the differences put aside before you do something like this, or do it afterwards, but don't make it awkward for the viewership. Like we all was excited. There's a large group of people that was super excited to see this. Once we got the news a week and a half ago. And I mean the songs were there, man, but it's one thing to see the artist there and they're into it. It gives you a different experience. And I truly didn't get that from this one. I obviously I love two of these. I'm a fan of both of the artists. But I just wish that they would have kind of figured that out beforehand or after, but just give us a real show. There's the egos was big in there.
yeah, well, it's the high roller, so they had a high ego. I mean,
I'm gonna be
but
honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. Chain's ego was definitely bruised because he heard a lot of chatter from fans, and I don't know who else he heard it from, but a lot of fans on the internet, man, saying, "Nah, man, Chainz ain't got a chance."
and that's the thing, man. Chainz, if they acting like that, they not fans. Like
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
should just be saying like, "Yo, I just want to have a good experience," and this is about giving my man his roses right now. So if they felt the way, they ain't your fan anyway. So like, just move past it. But
Yeah.
end of the day, man, shout out to Timberland, shout out to Swiss Beats for continually putting these things together, feeding the culture. No, I'm not gonna say to feed the culture, feeding the community who wants to be involved and have these verses. Like
Yeah.
I said, a couple of weeks was a couple of weeks or last week actually. I think it was a couple of weeks. Like I said last time, man, y'all got something here. And y'all definitely are on that way, man. So shout out to you two brothers for doing it. Shout out to Two Chains and Rick Ross for getting in there in that ring. I just hope they can piece this up, man, because we need you brothers, and y'all should definitely do a collab or something together because I think that would be dope too. So
Yeah.
just shout out to that, man.
facts.
Shout out to Versus. We gotta get past this though, because we've been on here too long. We're not gonna move away from Versus because we're gonna segue in a different way. So basically, Versus has been something that everybody's got their pick that they want to put into the ring of the versus ring. The one name that keeps coming up recently with all these rap battles is Jeezy. And the way I want to spin this off is that Ty Man, Rod Wave, he definitely put something in the air I don't think a lot of people caught or is aware of that, you know, Jeezy told y'all is a tapper die and told his son to go to college. You know what I mean? And what just came up recently is that his son has graduated college. So did he have a point there? And then a bigger point, and not even really about Jeezy and Raw Wave, but these people who preach as prophets, but then completely do something different, like different in the background, or or tell the people close to them to do something different that's more constructive for their life, but then try to tell the people that they don't know to do something deconstructive. Because I think this is an important thing in our community
Yeah.
where you have these people who just don't want to keep it 100 or lead us towards the right way. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
I I think, uh I think people grow, obviously, and, things change. However, when you have a platform like Jeezy had and has, um, I I think it's important to you're already out there, your stuff is already kinda for the world to see at that point. I think it would have benefited him a lot better for him to show us a little bit more of the transition because just my personal opinion, I think he dibbles and dabbles, but then he starts to kinda completely move away, but doesn't really give a lot of transparency on, how do we get from here to here? And so you got an audience that is, kinda dialed into, the thug motivation and the 101s and Mr. 17.5 and the Snowman. You got people attached to that person. But when you kinda release, other projects or later projects and the message is, like, completely different, but we haven't had "Alright, y'all, like, this is what I was doing, this is how I was doing it and why I was doing it, but now I'm going here." You kinda have to bring everybody along for the ride because you'll miss somebody gonna miss whatever the transition was, such as RodWave. And he feels that, you can't say one thing and stand on it and completely change and tell us to do something completely different without giving us the whole story. I kind of feel is where Rod was coming from with that. I could be off base, but that's what I take from the situation. And I do think it's very important to, not just in music, but in anybody. Like if you truly want to lead somebody or give advice to somebody, you can't give the people the good and not take and not not let the bad come with it. When you tell them, you got to explain to them like, hey, I'm no better than you. This is where I started. I made mistakes and I did this and I did that and I did this, but I realized that wasn't the right path. So now I want to do this, and this is what you should do, so you don't have to go down that path. And I think if you would have kind of had that story all tied in together, so we can see it from beginning to end, maybe it would have been a different effect for his audience. Maybe. What y'all brothers think about that?
Oh no, man. Oh no. I don't know, man. Like I understand where he's coming from with that. Because I do think there is a sense in rap culture and hip hop where, you know, we've had people make a living off of selling one particular piece of message or content and then do the complete opposite. I mean, we look at Uncle Luke for example. Uncle Luke's whole catalog and whole career was about sex, and now he's got youth football programs. He's doing things in the community. You know, people can change. Like Ty was saying, I think we should expect growth. We should embrace growth. We should champion growth. Um, and what Jeezy's son decides to do, that's what good parenting is. I don't know, like if you first of all, if you going to Jeezy for life advice, you probably need to look somewhere else. I don't mean no harm, but 17.5 ain't getting me out of ain't getting me out of where I'm at right now.
Right. Right.
That's
See,
only gonna
but
get
hold
me in
on,
one or
hold
two
on. I'm not
places.
gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do that because there's some people out here who don't have that strong parenting system at home too. So they are
True.
looking to these things and getting these influences by those people that they shouldn't be getting influenced by. Like I don't
This
know
is
Rod
true.
Wave's situation, but he talking for them people that's in the hood that they parents not around or doing the right things or not able to be around and do the right things, and they getting those influence from there. So
Yeah.
then we're not gonna act like the youth, some of the youth aren't impressionable. So
This
I'm just
this
saying, I'm
this
just
is
saying
true.
that's just not fair. That's it.
This is true. This is true. But I would tell those people. I would tell Rod that if that's the case, then reach out to those people that you feel like Jeezy and help those people out. And I feel like some of his music probably is doing a lot of that. Um, listen to some of his content, but I like we. I just don't like how we always put the onus on some of these artists, and like we gotta start taking the onus on ourselves and let somebody speak. And people that don't have it, cool. If you know somebody that doesn't have it, reach out to them. Like
So, do you think there's any responsibility of the artist to shout one message and be able to shout a different message years and years, or however long later? Is there a responsibility for them to, uh, educate or say anything to the audience? Because I think I think the reason why RodWave might have felt a way in order enough to say it or to even have this thought is he related to Jeezy at some point in his life, whether it's now, whether it's later. He saw him as, I'm not gonna say a mentor because I'm not Rod Wave, but he saw him as something that he was to say something like that, I would think. So is there a responsibility of the artist to, move your audience with you? Or, you know what I'm saying? Do they have any responsibility in this situation? Or is it all on the person that chose to believe in the message of the artist?
I would say I don't think it's any responsibility on them because at the end of the day, they're all they're trying to do is make money to feed their families. That's if me at 30 years old decides to take life advice from Young Jeezy, then where I end up, that should fall on me. Now, to Bruce's point, there are kids that are very impressionable. They are very gullible, and they will listen to things and think that that is reality when it's really not, because they don't have that support system at home. They don't have that village at home that's telling them that's not where you should be going. But that's also a responsibility of the community. If you see that guy out there in that trouble, steer him around the path, steer him on the right path. And see, we don't have that anymore as a community, as a society. Everybody's on the internet trying to be rich. They want their 15 minutes of fame. And I don't want to put a responsibility on them because at the end of the day, they're just as human just as we are. They're human just like us. There's some people that will sit there and say, well, what I do isn't important. My line of work isn't important. That's fine. That's what I decided to do with my career. I'm not here to tell you, oh, you shouldn't do that. I'm here to tell you to make the best decision possible that you can make. But just know whatever you decide to get into, understand it fully. Know its impacts, know its kickbacks, know how to work its inner side and its inner workings. But I think because like we look at Hov and Nas, those guys have transformed themselves from what they were rapping about when they were 20, 21, 22 years old to what they're rapping about now. And that's growth. I would expect that. But I can't fault I can't fault Jeezy for being a parent and saying, look, I'm doing this, but no, I want my son to do better. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think we just gotta stop glorifying. That's what I see it as. Like you glorified doing it doing it the wrong way so long and still kind of go back to that the people listening to the music not hearing the growth. Like the difference between Jeezy and Jay-Z and Nas is that we've seen the growth um and like we've seen it on TV and we've heard it through the lyrics. So I think that's the difference because we're not hearing Jeezy coming in and making no 444 or making a black album or making like we can go down and down and down and down or a life is good or you know what I mean like this is different there because we've seen growth and heard growth whereas Jeezy he's a private person. I mean that's to his that's his own thing if you want to be private but you can't sell us a dream and then you're doing something completely different in the background. You know what I mean? Like you got to kind of feel the way when you look in the mirror. I would think.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what the best way is. I, as I stated before, I do think it's important to show the growth in multiple ways. Being a private person, there's ways around that, as we've seen exemplified to us. And that I don't think I could really ask for much more because obviously we all evolve. Well, I don't want to say we all. We would like to think we all would evolve when we experience new things. I'm not gonna say age because that ain't true. But when we have new experiences, we tend to evolve, which is it should be expected. I would want everybody around me, at least that I know, um, to grow into a new person. I would hate to interact with a person 10 years ago and interact with them today and nothing has changed. That's kind of scary. So I understand both parts. I understand not putting your trust too much or dependency or what life is about into an artist. But then, I kind of also see like where the artist could have been a little bit more transparent with their journey.
And I get that, but I think we need to make sure that if those guys don't want to be role models, then that's cool. We shouldn't put that extra pressure on them. For the ones that are, and the ones that want and are willing to be role models, we should appreciate and herald those individuals. And to you guys' points, yeah, we need to see the growth. We need to see it displayed, not just on Instagram, but we need to see it in the music as well. Because we know some people ain't really living that lifestyle anymore. But we also would like just an explanation. If you rapping about that, you rapping about your past, like give us some more details about it, just so we understand. Okay, that's not where you are right now. That's where you came from, so we can appreciate it and understand it, and maybe relate to it more than where we are right now.
I mean, it's a healthy conversation to have, man. It's definitely healthy to have these conversations and continue to have these conversations. I mean, because like with everything, there's multiple ways of doing any one thing, but we got to make sure that we all trying to achieve the same goals. Like you can get paid and explain what's going on out here, but also help provide a way or different route. You know what I mean? It's just like movies. The movies, though, we know it's fake, and you guys are on these records, and it's supposed to be true. You know what I mean? At least that's how some of these kids are taking it. You know what? I mean, I don't know, man. We're not gonna keep on RodWave and Jeezy, man, because this conversation we're just gonna continue to have, and obviously we need to go back to friends letting people down. Might want to bring up something specific about friends or people letting them down, and I'll let you elaborate more on that.
Yeah, so this kind of came up really seeing an article that recently came out, and kind of poking in on Megan Thee Stallion's Instagram Live. She was doing a Q&A, and um, it was kind of one of those things where when you hear something, um, you kind of want to hear more of it, or at least kind of want them to elaborate. She didn't really go into too much in the detail, um, but she did mention that speaking of how she kind of felt after the incident, um, and quote is like, "I felt like, why did I get shot? Like, what did I do? It was insane." But she said it was crazy, and I feel like some people think that it's funny, and I feel like some people think that it's a joke, and I feel like some people think that they're just saying it to get to me. Um, she also added that she said, "I don't understand. I felt very betrayed by all my friends. I felt very shocked, very scared. But the one thing that y'all need to know about me is I'm not a person who was able to be down for a long time. I don't like to be victimized." Um, and I wanted to bring a question to you guys, just kind of in relation to friendship and having an incident that's happening to you, albeit whether it's public or private, and when you share this information with your friends, just kind of feeling betrayed just by either a lack of compassion, um, a lack of understanding, or kind of more so um, a sense of taking your issue or your concern lightly when the issue, was tragic, or a very serious thing for you. Have you guys ever experienced anything like that, and how did you guys deal with it?
I had a situation, not as severe as Meg's, but I learned who my friends were during this situation. Um, it, they kind of band together with an idea to present to some other mutual friends, um, and kind of got on a board to present themselves in a better light to these mutual friends, and to make me out to be somewhat of a bad guy. And when I got light of the situation, I kind of realized, like, okay, I need to remove myself from the people who I'm calling friends right now, because that's not what a true friend would do. So I it was a point where I did some spring cleaning. It was springtime. So, I removed myself from those that I used to fraternize with, and it caused me to be, not a I would say, a lot more private. It caused me to not involve so many people in things that I wanted to do. So, um, I kind of taken that, and it's kind of made me to be who I am today. I would say that I'm pretty private, and those that know me would probably say the same thing. And it's because of these types of situations, man. You put your trust in certain people, who they can mask up real well, and they can seem to be true, genuine friends when they're actually associates, gossiping in the background. But yeah, I mean, that's how I had to cope with it, because I didn't want to be in that situation again. I had to realize who the real ones were, and I gravitated to them, and they knew who they are, and things went from there. But the way I move today, learning from where that experience got me, is you can't tell everybody everything, and you can't take everybody with you. Everybody doesn't have the same mindset, even though you guys might enjoy doing some of the similar things together. It goes a little deeper than that. People are plotting on your moves, and how you react to certain things, how you respond to certain things. People watch you when you're out together, and I wasn't that observant. And it taught me a couple things, and how to not have to be around a crowd of people. I can do I can have just as much fun with two or three people. I don't need, in college, you want to go with a group of people. It's popular to do that. But now, as I've grown and learned from that situation, I don't need a big circle. So my coping was just to cut people off.
Do we know how old Meg the Stallion is?
She in her is she in her high she in her mid high 20s?
I think she's about mid high 20s, about maybe 25 or so.
Yeah,
Okay. So she at that age right now where you would see this starting to occur.
true.
Hmm. You
Because I
think it's
would
based? Well, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say you think this has a lot to do with her age?
Not that it's age dependent on, but
Hmm.
I think people who are in their mid to late 20s is when they start to really get to the down bottom about friends. 'Cause like after definitely after high school, mid college, after college in a way, I think that's when you really when shit get real, pretty much. When you gotta pay them bills, you out here working, you out here grinding. And for her, she's just been on a up. She's or on a grind. So it appears that she's been on a up this whole time. And then for something like this to happen, when some real shit happen, is when she's starting to realize that, like, look, everybody who around ain't really with you.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's 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 a good point. Uh, I I guess when she says friends, I'm wondering, and Ty mentioned this in his when he made his statement. I'm wondering if this is more so her real friends or people that basically are in her face saying that, hey, we're friends, when they're actually really associates or just like people that you just pass by and just kind of
Oh, right, like
on a
industry
whim.
people.
Yeah, because I
That
would
could
like
be
to.
the case.
Because I would like to think her real friends, like especially her best friend, who I know, who was with her, when the incident occurred. I know she's not talking about her. At least I can make that summation, summary for myself. But I would like to think there's probably some people that she's probably referring to that we might even know that have kind of been like, yeah, oh yeah, me and Meg are friends, but yeah, when that situation occurred, everybody made fun. Everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. I can see that too. I don't know. I still think it's partial to we won't know because she won't tell us, and nor am I asking her to. That's none of our business.
Right.
Um, but I honestly think that's it's partial industry friends, partial like that age gap when you start to realize like everybody who's around who seems as if they just have other all like motives and they only around because it's hot. When shit get jumping and you really need them, they gonna show themselves for real. Not might they gonna show themselves for real who they are and what they really there for. And I think that's what she's seeing now.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing she's seeing it sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, we can all make this statement here and, we could be right, but she's hot, but I don't think she's gotten to that apex yet. And I
they
think
about
when
she really there about there now. You almost there.
she yeah, she close. She real close. Um, but yeah, I think this is a good thing for her going forward because now, you know, like my brother Ty did, you can kind of start eliminating those people and knowing who you can kind of make sure your circle's even more tight going forward.
Yeah, it's a must, man. And also, man, protect black women. Like, we shouldn't have to say this anymore, man. Protect our black women. These men that were out there also making jokes about Meg Thee Stallion, man. This is the exact reason why every time we got to go and say something about stuff like this, I always say, men, just sit back, let these women protect the women and let them do the talking. Because y'all, it's some clown men that's out there right now, man. And they making jokes about this woman getting shot like it's funny. And it's never funny when somebody has to experience gun violence. You know what I mean? Like there's no joke for it.
Not
You know
at
what I mean?
all.
And we didn't touch about old girl Drea, but she's a clown and we've been known she a clown. And then again, shows she's a clown. So protect the black women, including women protecting their own. Like, man, like this ain't the time to make those kind of jokes. That ain't funny.
And I would like to think somebody who has suffered abuse firsthand, such as Drea, when she's even documented and stated as such, would have a little more compassion for somebody, which we don't know if their situation was abuse or not, but any action or violence against a woman should be treated as abuse, regardless of who it came from or where it started from. So, and, you know, good luck to her. She lost her sponsorship with Fenty, so good luck. And Meg swooped in and took it right from her eyes. So good for her.
I mean, that made more sense anyway. Meg was only shouting out Fenty on her raps. I mean,
It did. I mean, plus Meg's just more talented, so we would. That's another conversation for another day.
oh, God. Hey.
Oh man.
So, what we want to do, fellas? We want to talk about Nick Cannon. We want to talk about the world. Where we want to go, man?
What Nick do this time, man?
Boy, Nick Cannon out here again, man. His hot takes. Yeah, I guess he didn't learn that he just need to sit back and just chill for a little bit. He said he voting Kanye for president.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't got nothing to say.
It's funny that Kanye got the song "Real Friends" and he got a lot of people around him.
Yeah.
They egging this shit on something heavy, boy.
He, I don't know if they real or not, because I'm like, come on, man. You see your boy struggling. Like, why would you continue to perpetuate this this story that he's created in his mind? Like, and y'all allow him to get away with this?
Hey man, this is all a gimmick, yo. All a gimmick, bro. At this point, I don't care to know and I don't want to know, but I'm even questioning the mental health take now at this point. Cause it's no way that these people are around and we seen this like behavior and we continue to go down this path and like nothing's happened. Like nothing's changed for this dude and these partnerships are still coming in. Like either these people are really like worshiping this money or like there is no such thing as a true pure human being, or at least around him. Because I mean, damn. And if I'm Gap, I'm like, yo, I might want to reconsider this collab with Kanye for 10 years. But man, got mental things going on. He need to get that help. Like I'm gonna push for that. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just looking at the money and see it like that.
Yeah, I think unfortunately some business is just business. Very unfortunate, but I just think that's how that is because I don't have any I can't say that I have mental health issues to be able to put myself in his shoes. But I do know if you don't consistently get aid, then you're gonna continue to have these types of, you know, outbreaks or whatever we call it. But I don't know. Some of these big businesses and brands that have gotten in contracts with Ye is maybe that is all they see. Because I don't think none of his sales from any of his merchandise has stopped, even while going through all of this.
None of it stopped. He has cultivated a cult following fan base, unfortunately. And anything that he does, people are gonna subscribe to it, they're gonna buy it, and they're gonna purchase it. And any lies that he tells them, they're gonna feed off of it. It's sad and it's unfortunate that um, I feel like Bruce was saying, he's using this mental health thing now as kind of a gimmick every time he says something crazy. And quite frankly, we really need to question everybody that's around him, including his wife,
Yeah. The
because
reason why let me add to that too. Because the reason why I'm starting to question it is that we don't ever have the episodes happening when there's nothing to promote, when there's nothing in the horizon to come out. Like he's either dead silent or he's going on and maybe the trigger could be him trying to release and do things. Maybe that could be a trigger. Maybe I could be completely incorrect. And I should probably apologize before people try to come at me. But it just seems as if we don't ever hear from dude unless this is going on, like unless like something's promoting. We don't ever hear from dude about mental illness unless he's trying to put out something for y'all to buy. So I mean, I just don't know, man.
and you're right, bro, because I have heard that thrown out there that especially when it's time when you're trying to release something, you do get a little manic. Um, so that could be very plausible. That could be very plausible. But I'm like you. We've gone. I don't know Jesus King came out with last November. We haven't heard anything from Kanye since then until the last few months. He's been quiet the whole time. So now all of a sudden, like you've had ample amount of time, you have a very generous platform that you can utilize to speak to everybody that you want to speak to. If you really wanted to run for president, you should have did that back in January while the primaries were going on. I just the gimmicks aren't matching up with the actions, and I don't know who he has in his corner to kind of pull him out. But whatever it is, they're not helping. And I do wish that people would really truly encourage him to, if he's already gotten help, encourage him to get more, because there's still some really deep rooted issues with him. And I would, you know, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't fault him. If I lost my mother, at the age and the apex that he was in his career and his life, then I probably would feel I'd be a little crazy too.
Yeah. And I think the reason why I get so caught up in it is that he's got children now. You know, he's got kids who going to need him around, and I root and pray that he get the help that he need. But it's just been after a while, you're affecting the world in a grand way, and it's a lot of people that are naive to the fact, and they just think it's like fine. You know, you got people who talk down mental illness. You got people who talk down the importance of voting. You got people who talk down the sense of having a strong family foundation. And this is he's essentially just kind of like debunking a lot of this work. Not debunking because he ain't changed. He didn't fix any of that or like prove anything wrong. You just got some people who just want to be an outlier just to be an outlier. And it just seems as if that's what he could be heading towards. And for me in my life, man, like I just take it as it is what it is. And I don't really pay it too much attention. Like if the music banging, I'm a rock it, I'm gonna play it. But that's it. If the shoes is dope, I might cop them. I might not, But again, you're trying to be aware of where you're spending your money and who you giving this energy to. But after a while, man, it's stressful, bro. And he affecting us as a world, bro. Because it's already bad enough we got somebody right now trying to rig. He trying to rig shit before it even happened.
He, he's exerting every amount of power he got right now. At least he thinks he has anyway.
I mean, and they still out there right now marching for him.
Yeah.
I had to wait 3 weeks to get my Bevel shampoo. 3 weeks.
Bro, I know the struggle, man. I'm waiting on some stuff right now.
And I hate to be like that, but man, look, shout out my man Bomani Jones because he let me know that it was okay to complain about this having to wait for shit. Cause bro, like
okay.
this shit is tripping, bro.
Yeah, man.
I still ain't got my Alfredo vinyl. Like,
Man, got everything waiting over there.
and I'm trying to move. So there's a lot of shit going on at the same goddamn on time, and I just look, bro. And just to get context of what I'm talking about. It's a war on USPS, and the US is not safe from it. Because if they fuck around, fuck up this United States Postal Service, bro. I don't think y'all think the world fucked up now. Yeah, well, not the world. I'm gonna say it like this. Y'all think America fucked up now. If they continue to fuck up and fuck with the United States Postal Service, man, I suggest y'all go hit that research button, figure out what the USPS means. Because y'all don't want that world.
It's an important part. It's an important part of this economy. I can tell you that. And just the way we move in this country. So,
Yep.
it's a dangerous time that we're living in right now. It's a dangerous time that we're living in right now. We have a dangerous void of leadership right now, and we really have dangerous uh, voices in Congress right now on both sides. Neither side is absolved of any of any wrongdoing. Like they've all have done their fair share of dirt, and we definitely need to protect the United States Postal Service. Um, we definitely need to make sure, come this November, voice your opinion and get the people in office that are going to stand for your rights, and make sure that you stand firm on the people that are in there now, and to let them know we will not tolerate any less than doing the bare minimum of what we asked. We can't continue like this.
Nope. Damn sure can't.
Not
Damn
at
sure
all.
can't.
Not at
It's
all.
gonna be one of them things everybody be fine with until it happen. And
Yeah.
then when it happen, y'all motherfuckers gonna be like, damn, I really wish I would have said and did and stood, and too late.
Right. Too late.
And I mean, Honestly, look. I'm not gonna blame them. I'm not gonna sit up here and get at the regular citizens. Amazon, where you at? Because y'all primarily use USPS to deliver y'all goods.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all tricked off the system for so long, and you done got millions and millions and billions off this fucking shit. Where y'all at? Stand up. This is the perfect time to take that money and stand up for something for good, man. Because we gotta start giving these passes to these corporations, man. Y'all look, I cancel my Amazon shit. Fuck them. I don't give them no more money because they ain't saying it for nothing. And I'm not continuing to like feed into somebody not doing shit for me. So step up. And I suggest other people do the same thing, man. Y'all not with me. That's fine. That's your personal opinion. But I definitely, you should do the research. Where you spending your money and where you going with your money, because these people getting rich off of your money and they ain't doing nothing for you. So
The monopoly that would cause the United States Postal Service goes down would be unreal. And like my brother just said, the private companies are the ones that's going to end up flourishing. The FedExes, the UPSs of the world, the DHLs. They're going to stay silent because this benefits them. They have no reason to stand up for the U.S. Postal Service whatsoever. None. They'll be the first ones to throw advertisements out there. Hey guys, come work for us.
yep.
Nah.
The USPS didn't have no problem when them stimulus checks was going out, huh? There's no issue then.
Nah.
And I'm pretty sure there won't be one when the next one come around.
Nope.
No, because look, go ahead and enter USPS. You think gonna get a check? You think you gonna get some PPE as y'all continue to go out and hang out on COVID-19? I just want to go on vacation too, but I mean, hey, look, I'm cool on that. Not right now. And these people working their ass off, bro. Like, man, unemployment rate already high. You want to make it even more high. I'm gonna stop, man, because look, what I say in the beginning, I'm supposed to be positivity, and here I am bringing some negative shit to the podcast.
No, that's not. That's awareness, bro.
Yeah,
That's not negative. That's awareness, and that's a part of the problem. Is awareness. You know, is everybody seeing this? Does everybody hear what we talk about and things that we bring to this platform? No, not everybody does. So it's important to have these conversations. It's important to bring these things to the platform. It's important to bring these things to the table to make awareness, so that we can make a positive change.
Yeah.
Church.
But I mean, this is bro. As the longer I sit in this house and think, boy, and research and watch the news and bro, man, I just don't. I'm almost lost of words, bro. Like, I want to have a child soon. I want to make sure that I bring my child into a good world, but the world that we living in now, man, is wow.
It's a scary thought. It's a scary thought to bringing a child into this world today.
Yeah.
But these are the times that you've heard about, and I'm just hoping that we can overcome them by coming together as a people. So, you brothers got any last words, man, before we get up out of here?
Wear your damn mask. I'm gonna continue to say that, and listening is learning.
That's a fact. Well, thank y'all so much again for listening to another installment of the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast, episode 33. Please follow us on all of our social media accounts. Twitter at Whiskey and Wiz, WISD 1, and also on Instagram at Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Please also follow us on SoundCloud. Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast is the name. Please continue to be safe, continue to love one another, continue to spread positivity and wisdom and love to each other, especially in this trying time that we're living in. But always remember, listening is learning, and a closed ear can't perceive wisdom. Until next time, for me, Mike, my brothers Bruce and Tyrone, we are the Whiskey and Wisdom Podcast. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.